Hey, this is Dan French with the Sound Off. I'm going to talk today about what's going on here with rents in Las Vegas. I have a real problem with rents going up as high as they are. I understand landlords are trying to, maximize their dollar. They have, by law, can raise it up to, the market value of what rents are going for. I've seen it upwards of $640. A lot of people are still struggling just to get back on their feet. And I'm going to tell you what's really going to happen here in Las Vegas moving forward if this problem doesn't stop. Let's get right into this video. So let's dive right into this. Year over year, 27% increase in rents here in Las Vegas. I'm a real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I talk to a lot of people, especially property managers. You can get your property manager's license as well as a real estate agent here in Las Vegas. And they're just going whatever and doing whatever that the landlord tells them. And the landlords, I think, are just a little greedy here. You look at, it's going off of market value. But I mean, we saw in an article recently, $640 increase just on one individual for the new lease, right? And that's double-digit percentage increase. I have a problem with that because there's a sign of, or a position of ethics as a landlord. I understand a lot of these landlords during the pandemic lost money. I feel for those people. You're running it as a business, but there's got to be a middle ground. And you look at who's really suffering. Well, a lot of people are suffering here in Las Vegas as far as rents go. You look at one demographics, and what I want to talk about is the millennials here. The average person buying a home as a millennial is 33 years old, and 70% of them coming out saying they can barely afford rent. How do they afford a mortgage? How do they get into a house? The supply chain here is so low, it's historic lows. It's been staying that way for the last 6 to 8 months. How does somebody find a place to not only buy, but how about just to rent? And to have double-digit percentage increases that drastic. Average wages here in Las Vegas and just in general have not increased very much. It's not, staying at a level where these people that are buying into these homes or maybe renting these homes, that they could sustain those payments. And so now you're seeing people getting pushed out. How does somebody raise rents $500, $600 here in Las Vegas? I don't know, man. There's got to be something. If I have good tenants that's in the property, I'm going to probably try to support and help them. Is rents going to go up year over year? Sure. That's what normally that does happen. But I think the problem that lies is that you have too quick, too much in one specific period, and people just can't adjust. You look at inflation. Inflation's off the charts, 7.5%, right? And that's minus food and energy, or including food and energy, minus food and energy just on cost is about 6%. I feel that number is a little low. Now, where does the Fed want to target that? Around 2%. But you go back and you look at all these people that are struggling with the higher gas prices, $5, it's going to continue to go up. You go to the grocery store, a lot of things going up at the grocery store. So you look at a lot of these problems that people are running into, and now you got rents going up. And it's like, look, we all need to figure out where is this gonna, kind of have that middle ground. I think there should be, yes, market value here in Las Vegas. That's what they go off of, right? But there also should be maybe a certain percentage or cap of how much people can go up to. Because look, you can't push a family out of a house. I don't know how I would feel about that. If I had a house and I was renting it to a family, and let's say they've been accustomed to living there, and all of a sudden I'm pushing them out. I have people that I know around me that they moved from California to come here to Las Vegas because the rents are cheaper. And now the difference between rents on some of these properties, including purchases, there's no difference. You got people in California looking at it going, I got properties here in California that are relatively close to the same. Now, why would you move to Las Vegas? Okay, well, you can get a lot more of a home, right? If you're purchasing brand new. You can get a lot more of a home if you're renting with maybe a newer home. But overall, if you've done upgrades to the house in California, you've renovated, you've done all these things, there's not much difference anymore. There's slight difference, but not much difference. And when you have tenants that are struggling right now in Las Vegas, and let's say they're working, on the strip, or let's say they're working an hourly job, you have to have 2 or 3 incomes now per household just to support these rents. And I feel very sorry for a lot of these tenants. And that's a real problem that I have with a lot of these landlords. Look, I understand you guys want to, people out there that own homes, they want to make money. I get it. We all are trying to make money. We're all trying to be an entrepreneur, make money, have an investment property, get a return on rents and consistently keep it going. But I also think there's a sign or a position of ethics where if you have a tenant in place, they've been great to you, right? You've been getting rents on time for 3-4 years. All of a sudden you're going to say, hey guys, guess what? We're going to raise that $600, $700 on you. Hopefully you can afford it. I have a problem with that. I hope that other people have issues with it and people need to step forward, and we need to really start figuring out where's that middle ground here in Las Vegas. So what's really happening today is phenomenal. You look at the supply and demand, we look at the rental sector, and I want to talk about how do you fix the problem with the rental market, and also how do you fix the problem with slowing down the amount of increase in percentage in rents. Well, the big problem is you have Wall Street and you have hedge fund investors, greedy money coming in and getting free money. Why is this free money? Well, who's being targeted? Okay, you got the middle to lower income households, and those households are the ones that's being affected the most, because you have to look and see, okay, well, who's paying the rents and where can they go? Well, they're getting all the rents that they need. A lot of these lower income and middle household incomes are really having to have 2 or 3 or 4 incomes just to support a rent payment. And, it's astonishing because you go back 10 years ago when we had the Great Recession, this is a decade ago, a lot of homes were being sold. It's not uncommon back in the day, 10 years, 12 years ago, where homes were selling $1 million over list in California. And that's happening today. Not as much as far as Las Vegas. There's not that much of an increase. Although on these $1 million homes, that's not uncommon to see $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 above list. And so hedge fund investors, greedy money, Wall Street knows they're getting whatever they want for rents, and they can increase it however much they want for market value or whatever the market is going for here in rent in Las Vegas. There is no law on how much you can increase it. So that should be the issue. The president needs to come in, sign a 2 to 3 year moratorium, stop all these investors, not the mom and pop, right? They're not going to be buying 10, 15, 20 properties at once. It's these big investors coming in, knowing they're getting rents for whatever they want, and then turning around and, going $500, $600, $700, $800 above list. So this is a national security issue, I feel. that this is a problem here in Las Vegas. And until somebody steps in, maybe the president, to stop this bleeding, we're going to keep having these issues with rents. This is Dan French. I'll see you guys at the next video. Please subscribe, like the channel, and I'll talk to you then.